So let's talk about vertigo. What is it? What causes it? What are the symptoms? But most importantly, what can be done about it that is safe, natural, and clinically proven? So, what is vertigo? This is basically a sensation of spinning or dizziness. It's often associated with conditions of the inner ear, and that's because the inner ear is responsible for our ability to balance. There's actually a fluid balance that has to be maintained within the ear in order for us to have a sense of balance. Now, it can be a feeling as though the world around you is spinning when you experience vertigo. And people often refer to this as dizzy spells. And these can often be recurrent. What are the symptoms? The most common symptom, of course, is dizziness. That's the main symptom. And in many cases, that may be the only symptom, but it is sometimes associated with other symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, sweating, ringing in the ears, loss of hearing, or even abnormal eye movements. Now, what causes it? This is really important because in order to know how to manage the condition, you need to know what is causing it. The most common cause is a condition known as BPPV or benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. This is basically a condition in which these calcium crystals that are located within the ear break off, and this can cause a sort of pathological displacement of fluid within the ear. Another condition that can cause this, which is not as common as BPPV, but it has a similar pathogenesis, that's Meniere's disease. Now, Meniere's disease is a condition in which there's a fluid buildup within the ear. The exact mechanisms behind the illness are not understood, but it's believed to be an autoimmune mechanism. Another cause is vestibular neuritis. This is basically an inflammatory condition of the inner ear, which is often caused by viral infections, but in some rare cases, it can also be bacterial infections. And usually they can be in other parts of the body and spread. It can also be caused by injuries to the head and neck, as well as tumors, such as brain tumors. Now, just because I've mentioned tumors and strokes doesn't mean that that's necessarily the cause in your case. Most often, it's going to be the first one, BPPV, or the second. And now, in some cases, it can be brain tumors, can be strokes, can even just be migraines that lead to this symptom, and then certain medications like ACE inhibitors. So, those are the causes. Now, what can actually be done about it? Now, there are two general remedies. Now, it's very important to remember that these are general remedies. If you have a specific infection going on, that has to be addressed. If you have an injury, that has to be addressed. If there's a tumor, if you're on certain medications, that has to be addressed. These are just general remedies that can help in the case of BPPV. It can also help in certain cases of Meniere's disease. I would not recommend solely relying on these in the case of vestibular neuritis or any of the other causes that I mentioned. And number one is ginger. This is a potent anti inflammatory. It's also really good for your circulation. And in clinical trials, it was found to be able to reduce the symptoms of vertigo quite significantly. Now, next in the list is ginkgo biloba. This is a medicinal herb that is very well known for its abilities to help the body cope with stress and to improve brain function. Now, ginkgo biloba was used in a comparative clinical trial where it was compared to a common drug used for vertigo known as beta histine. And basically, ginkgo biloba and beta histine had pretty much the same effect. However, the people taking ginkgo biloba stated that they experienced much more better tolerance to the medication itself, at least the medicinal herb. Now, when something is more well tolerated, naturally people are going to take to it. And the reason why this is so important is because the pharmaceutical medications are often associated with many adverse effects as well as side effects, which people don't want to experience. Whereas ginkgo biloba is associated with a ton of benefits. So ginkgo biloba is highly beneficial and something I would strongly recommend. Now, you can actually take these two together. I often recommend it to be taken together. The reason why is ginger is a bioavailability enhancer and it can improve the way that ginkgo biloba is utilized by the body, the way it's absorbed, how much of it is absorbed. So it's really good to combine these two. I strongly recommend using them under the supervision of a holistic health practitioner. So that's my take on vertigo and a few things that can be done about it. I hope this information has helped you. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you can do so through my website, drnishal.com. I do online video call consultations. So no matter where you are in the world, you can get in touch with me and I can help you. I'll see you in the next video.